you'd like to draw along for this cow, open up Sketches School. Make sure you've got a white page and a black thin pen. That's the second tool from the top. And the first thing you're going to do is draw a kind of open skull shape. We're then going to add the cow's mouth. So we're going to do a sort of capital C on its side and then a little squiggle at the bottom, then 2 circles for nostrils, and then pop in a little bend underneath for the mouth. Then draw the eyes at the side of the head. 2 oval shapes will do. And next we're going to move on to the horns and ears. So we're going to draw 2 little horns right at the top of the head. Right next to those we're going to draw sort of triangular leaf shapes with a more of a rounded end than a point, and 2 little lines to separate each of the ears. Now do make sure you're closing up all your lines and joining them onto the next line, and it'll be really obvious later on why we need to do that. Next we're going to draw the cow's body. So you're going to start from the middle of the top of the right ear, and you're going to draw a long line going across your page with a little dip in it, and then going around the back end of the cow. Then we're going to start underneath the mouth, and we're going to slope down again with a bit of a bend, another little hill, and then we're going to climb up as if we're going over the wheel arch of a car until we reach that back end and join it up together. We now have to draw our legs. So I'm going to start with this one here. I'm going to make 2 little marks, and then I'm going to come in a bit wider, taper the leg down and draw in the little hoof at the bottom. Then next to that we're going to draw the second of the front legs, and it's going to look a little bit shorter than this one because from our perspective it would be further away. Again, draw the little hoof on the bottom. Obviously now we need some back legs, so we're going to start on this part here, and we're going to go down from the back, and the legs have got a kind of a little bump in them around about the sort of knee area. And again, don't forget our little hoof, and then join our lines up again. And we've got 1 leg left to do in front of that one, again a little bit shorter. Now don't worry if you don't get the legs perfectly right first time, took me a few goes. Do make sure you're joining up those lines. We're almost done, we just need to add a few more details. So now I'm going to do the cow's udder. So I'm going to start just in front of that short back leg, draw a wiggly line going across until I meet the front facing back leg. Then I'm going to draw in 2 curvy lines at the back end for the tail with a little teardrop shape at the bottom. And I've decided to make my cow a dairy cow, so I'm going to draw in some patterns. I'm going to start on the face, and about 1/3 of the way across the top of the nose I'm going to draw lines that bend up to meet the horns. Then I'm going to draw some wiggly lines to create patches. You can draw whatever pattern you like, or you can choose to colour your cow in without patches, depending on what type of cow it is that you're drawing. I'm just about finished here, and next thing I need to do is do a little bit of tidying up. So I'm going to switch to the rubber, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, and I've got a line going across that front leg that doesn't need to be there, and a couple of little dots at the top. So I'm just going to rub them out very carefully, and you can always undo if you make a mistake. Now at these back legs, I shouldn't be able to see the leg through the udder, so I'm just going to tidy this bit up a little bit again with the rubber. Accidentally rubbed out a bit too much there. I'm going to rub out this line at the top of the back leg as well, and then I'll just tidy all that up again with my pen to draw back in the lines I've accidentally rubbed out. And once I've finished that, I'm going to zoom back out so I can see the whole of my cow. And it's looking pretty good, but I'm going to colour it in. Now I could just colour it in with my finger or my pen tool, but I'm going to use the roller. And I'm just going to keep it on black to colour in the hooves. And then I'm going to go tap on the roller again, but this time I'm going to choose one of the textures, the one at the top right, which kind of gives a watercolour effect. And then I'm going to use that to tap on some of the parts that I want to be darker on my cow. Now this is where you'll see what happens when you don't quite close the lines. I've accidentally coloured in the background, and there's the problem. So easy to fix. Just make that line join onto the side of the head, and then I can tap to colour in. Remember, that undo button is your friend if that happens to you. I'm going to keep on colouring the patches on the eyes, and then I'm going to switch colours to pink, keeping that texture, and I'm going to colour in these parts pink as well. So I'm zooming in so I can really tap on them with my finger and make sure I'm getting the right part. Let's do the inside of the ears, and then I'm going to choose this beigey colour for the horns. Not sure you'll see it very well on this background, but you can choose whatever colours you like. Now all that's left for me to do is do some background, and that is entirely up to you what you do. But I'm going to use my roller tool and maybe this lined effect. Let's see what that looks like. We'd love to see some of your finished designs in the Showbie page. Have fun drawing!